Let's be honest for a second. Have you ever inhaled your breakfast so fast you barely even tasted it? You look down, the plate's empty, and it's only been like 5 minutes. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. But what if that time you think you're saving is actually costing you big time? So today, we are diving deep into the hidden health costs of that morning rush. We're going to look at the science, the real-world risks, and, most importantly, the super simple ways you can take back control of your first meal of the day.
All right, here's the game plan. First, we'll talk about why we're all eating like we're in a race. Then we'll get into the science of feeling full. It's fascinating. After that, we'll look at the pretty serious health risks, uncover a really surprising twist with intermittent fasting, and wrap it all up with practical tips to slow things down. Let's just state the obvious. Modern mornings are a total blur, right? You're trying to get to work, get the kids to school, just get out the door. And breakfast becomes this thing you just have to get through. It's less a meal and more of an obstacle to conquer as fast as possible.
And you know, for a lot of us, this isn't just a choice. It's a habit that's been drilled into us. I mean, think about it. If you were ever in the military or even just had chaotic school mornings, eating fast was a survival skill. And that kind of survival mode can stick with you for years, turning every single meal into a race against an imaginary clock.
So what is actually going on inside your body when you eat that fast? Well, the heart of the problem is this huge communication gap, a major disconnect between your stomach and your brain.
It all comes down to something called the gut-brain axis. It's basically your body's internal text messaging system. And feeling full? That's not just your stomach physically stretching. It's a super complex hormonal conversation where your gut has to send out all these little messages to your brain that say, hey, we're good down here. You can stop now.
And this is where it gets really crazy. That conversation takes time. Look at this timeline. At 5 minutes, when you might have already finished your meal, your stomach is stretched, sure, but your brain hasn't really gotten the memo yet. It takes about 20 full minutes for those satiety hormones to finally arrive and tell your brain that you're full. You've literally finished the meal before your brain even knows you've started.
This chart shows the hormonal chaos perfectly. When you eat fast, you basically short-circuit the whole system. Leptin, which says we've got enough energy stored, gets completely bypassed. PYY, the hormone that's supposed to say stop eating now, is super slow to show up. And ghrelin, the hunger hormone, it just stays cranked up, screaming, I'm still hungry. You are essentially overriding your body's built-in appetite controls. Okay, so what's the big deal? You overeat a little, you feel a bit stuffed. But what happens when this is your daily routine for years? Well, the long-term consequences are, frankly, pretty serious. We're talking major health risks. Let's start with some hard numbers. A study out of Hiroshima University found a really clear link. Fast eaters were almost 12% more likely to develop something called metabolic syndrome. And we'll get into what that is in a minute, but trust me, it's a collection of issues you do not want.
And the connection to just straight-up weight gain, it is stark. Another Japanese study found that people who ate fast until they felt full were 3 times more likely to be overweight. 3 times! That 20-minute disconnect we talked about, this is the direct result. A constant slow-motion overconsumption of calories.
Now this one might be the most shocking of all. If you're someone who eats a meal in under 5 minutes on a regular basis, your risk for a serious liver disease, now called MASLD, goes up by 81%. That is a massive number. That flood of calories just overwhelms your liver, forcing it to start storing fat where it shouldn't.
So what is this metabolic syndrome we keep mentioning? Well, it's not one single disease. Think of it as a gang of dangerous conditions all showing up together. High blood pressure, high blood sugar, extra fat around your waist, and wacky cholesterol levels. All of this dramatically increases your risk for the big 3, heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes.
Now you might be sitting there thinking, okay, but I do intermittent fasting. I'm one of the healthy ones. Well, hold on, because some really recent research has uncovered a potential paradox that, honestly, anyone doing time-restricted eating needs to know about.
Just this year, in 2024, the American Heart Association presented findings from a huge study. We're talking over 20,000 adults. And what they found made a lot of people in the health world stop and go, wait, what? Just look at this chart. It's stunning. They found that people who squeezed all their eating into a window of less than 8 hours a day had a 91% higher risk of dying from cardiovascular disease. Let me say that again, a 91% higher risk.
Even the lead researcher, Dr. Victor Wenze Zhong, said they were surprised. Now, the science is still new, But one of the theories is that if you cram a whole day's worth of food into a tiny window, and especially if you eat it fast, you could be putting a massive, acute stress on your entire system.
Okay, I know that was a lot of heavy, kind of scary information. But here's the really good news. The fix for this is not complicated. The solutions are simple, they're practical, and you have complete control. So let's shift gears and talk about what you can actually do, starting tomorrow.
This is not about some massive lifestyle overhaul. We're talking small, simple behavioral tricks. Literally just putting your fork down between bites forces a pause. Chewing more, and I mean really chewing, helps digestion and gives your brain time to catch up. Get rid of the screens. And sipping water is a perfect, easy way to slow your roll.
And for the biggest excuse of all, I don't have time, we solve that with a little prep. Remember, quick to prepare does not have to mean quick to eat. Things like overnight oats, egg cups you make on Sunday, or freezer burritos, they separate the work from the eating. That way, when morning comes, all you have to do is sit down and mindfully enjoy your food.
So I'll just leave you with this one final thought to chew on. We're all obsessed with saving time. But if it takes a full 20 minutes for your brain to even realize you're full, what are you really saving by finishing in 5? What is the true cost of those 15 minutes?